Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the Witty Whistle. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, 970 right now. So if you are watching this and you haven't hit the button, join the first 1,000 who have been part of the journey from the start to be historical. Today, myself and Cornell are diving into some huge stories in Irish football, namely the Ireland's Road Cup hopes after the last couple of games, Cork City's strange reason of relegation and cup final, Joe O'Brien getting Shells back on track, and Dundalk's big return to the Premier Division. So if there's something you're interested in, stick around and drop your thoughts in the chat, and let's navigate through it together. And there's already a question for you guys in the chat box. Can the boys in green still make it? Let us know. Myself and Cornell will discuss it, and we'll bring your input into the conversation. My good friend, how are you today?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you very much. How are you today?
Yeah, all good, all good. Yeah, can't complain at all. One of those days that I cannot complain. So I would say it's a good day.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Right. So let's start with the Irish national team. Yeah. So much emotion last week. I was actually at a pub when Portugal beat Ireland 1-0. I was my heart was divided. As a Portuguese man living in Ireland for a while, that penalty stopped by the Irish goalkeeper was an extraordinary moment. But then the Irish team was very unlucky at the end with Ruben Neves' goal. What are your thoughts on this game, Cornell?
My thoughts on this game. I think this is a fantastic, not a fantastic result for Ireland, but for Portugal, I think they came up with a plan. Obviously to go on and win the game and secure the points. But Ireland, I think, will feel very undone by. Obviously, they gave everything that they had in this game. They gave Portugal everything that they had, and I think the pressure just piled too much on them, and obviously, Portugal scored the goal. So I thought the saves from Kelly, obviously to deny Cristiano Ronaldo his penalty, I think was really, really good, and one of the best saves that you ever see from Kelly. Really, I'm very surprised that the Premier League has not really bigged him up that much. But like I said, I think Ireland, I think, will feel very undone by, and I think they probably felt that maybe they could have gone on and get a draw. But look, I think it's a kick in the teeth to lose to Portugal, but especially when your back is against the wall, I think there's a response from Ireland come the next fixture in Dublin.
Yep. So in Dublin, they managed to collect the 3 points against Armenia. It wasn't an easy game, but end of the day, what matters are those 3 points, because those 3 points keep Ireland in the fight.
Yeah, it does. I watched this game this afternoon on the highlights, and I thought Ireland were fantastic. I thought they were brilliant against Armenia. I thought they gave Armenia such a hard game, from the first half and going into the second half. Armenia had chances as well, which they did. Obviously, Armenia went down to 10 men after the headbutt. Obviously, but I thought with the chances that they had, I think Ireland could have had at least 2, 3, or even more, more goals, to score against Armenia. But it keeps them in the playoff race. It gives them an opportunity for them to go into the next 2 World Cup qualifying games against Portugal and Hungary with a chance to make it into the playoffs and see what they and try and qualify for the World Cup. But look, I think brilliant finish by Evan Ferguson, brilliant goal. Obviously, I like the link-up play between Araz and Evan Ferguson. Obviously, disappointment that the Adam Adar goal was disallowed, which I think was a very great move. But yeah, he was in a offside position. But I really felt Ireland were the better team after Armenia went down to 10 men.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Ireland, Portugal conceded the draw at the very end. So much I scored an equalizer, and that makes Irish mathematics way more complicated now. They have two games, one of them against Portugal at home, so they have the home factor, and then there will be, say, a massive game in Budapest. How you foresee the upcoming two games for the whole group?
I think from the two games, I think from winning against Armenia, I think Ireland can go into this to the two games very with confidence and determination and passion. I think what will be interesting will be what team Helgeson puts out, because he has been criticised for not picking certain players from the League of Ireland, and it's kind of like making a lot of problems for the Irish fans of thinking, well, who's his best 11 and who gets into his starting 11 lineup and things like that. So I think that will be a huge and then who gets picked as well in the Irish squad as well. So I think as long as they can go into these games with full belief and everything else, I think Ireland will be fine.
Right. So let me ask the viewers: can the boys in green still make it? Conversation is still up. We'll jump into other topics, but we can pick it up if you guys provide your expectation. Someone is saying you can say that Irish team can go into Portugal game confident when they struggle to beat Armenia with 10 men. So there is some pessimism here challenging us. I understand the point, because I mean, playing against 10 men is an advantage, but I would say that sometimes it's not as easy, because they kind of put more effort and heart into the game when they realize that they are less on the pitch. Have you came across that sort of perception during a game, Cornell?
Look, listen, I understand where the comments is going, but look, I like to see the optimistic side of things, and you know, I want Ireland to do well in the World Cup qualifiers. I want them to go into the Portugal game as underdogs. I want them to go into the Hungary game as underdogs and full of belief and full of passion and full of desire, and say, look, they can beat down Portugal. They can win against Hungary and get a result. Yes, I can understand that they struggled to beat Armenia because of the chances that Armenia had, but I just felt that, you know, the way that Ireland played, I thought they were fantastic when Armenia went down to 10 men. But yeah, I get where the pessimism comment is coming, and obviously yes, I can't say that the Irish team can go into the Portugal game and with gain confidence as they struggle to, you know, beat down Armenia. But I feel confident for Ireland, for them to go as far as they can and really show that they can put up one hell of a fight and one hell of a show.
Yeah, and I would say the Irish goalkeeper is very confident at this stage. I was watching his statistics, and the last three men he stopped at the penalty kick were no other than Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, and Mbappe. That's some record, huh? That's really some record.
That is one of the best records that I've ever seen from Kelleher. I think Kelleher's confidence from leaving Liverpool to go to Brentford, I think, has really helped him. And I think since given the chance by Helgeson for him to go into the Irish team and be the number one choice keeper, I think he can be very proud of himself and the achievements that he has done. And I think to make these amount of saves against the best players in the world, like Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Mbappe, I think it shows that Kelleher is going to come a very long way this year.
Right, so we'll go back to the World Cup qualifiers in November. So guys that are watching us, make sure to subscribe to the channel, that will be notified of what we are doing here. We are getting to 1,000, so you have the chance to be part of the first 1,000. There won't be second chance. It only happens once. At the moment, we are 971. Sorry, there are still 29,000 spaces for the first magnificent 1,000. Let's jump into the League of Ireland action. There were two games involving Shells. Shells are unstoppable at this point. They upset Shamrock Rovers, who are ready to celebrate the title.
They are fantastic. Shelbourne have really impressed me this season, especially the way that they've gone about their business this season. Joey O'Brien, since taking over from Damien Duff, he's been on fire. He's really instructed that Shelbourne, he knows his starting 11. He knows how to get the best out of Shelbourne as a team. Certain players as well, he's gotten the best out of. I mean, Harry Wood is just unstoppable this season. He's been brilliant this season. You know, the way that he's really conducted himself, scoring goals and making things happen. Meepo obviously is also improving as well. You're seeing, glimpses of him. But, Shelbourne, honestly, they are just fantastic this season. And I think they've shown that they can be favourites for the race for Europe this season. And I think, their confidence in Europe, I mean, despite drawing in Europe, and, I think they'll have an amazing European Cup run in Europe. But this was very important for them to go on and get 3 points. And look, Joey O'Brien has come into Shelbourne and said, look, listen, I see potential. I see huge, massive quality in these players, and he's got the best out of them. He's believed in them. He's got them to be the players that they fully deserve to be. But also he's got them to believe that they can focus on getting that race for Europe, despite the other teams of Drogda, and you've got St. Pat's, who hasn't been on very good form this season. But Shelbourne, they are on another level. When you've got players like Harry Wood in there, you've got players like Ali Coote, who's, moving from Bohemians to go to Shells is not easy. Milan Abeng is just another level, going from Cork City to Shelburne, and then playing from centre back to go to central midfield is one thing. But like I always said, Shelburne are on fire, and I think they are favourites to get into to finish for Europe this season.
Right, that's a question I want to address the viewers. Will Shells finish in the European spots? Let us know whether you think that's the case, or someone else will get that 3rd or 4th place, or even the 2nd at this point. Shells, again, they went to Cork and they let us know what we already were aware of, that we'll be relegated. There was not much hope at this point, but it's still start to see our fate being sealed in Turner's Cross, I would say. I would have been happier, if I could be happy about it, if that would have happened in a different ground, but that's what it is.
Shelbourne getting the win again, like they did against Shamrock Rovers. Shelbourne proving their dominance, proving their worth as the team that they are. Obviously, I watched the game, saw the highlights on FAI, and I thought that Shelbourne were the better side than Cork City. I mean, when Shell scored through Daniel Kelly, obviously you would have expected Cork City to respond back, and they did through Sean Maguire. And you're thinking, I think if Cork City can just get a second goal, they'll definitely be staying up, for next season. But it wasn't meant to be, and Francis got the goal and scored the winning goal to help Shelbourne get 3 points and send Cork City down. As for Cork City, I think the season hasn't been great for Cork City, and Cork City fans know that. Cork City haven't been at their best because of it's not because of the manager, it's because of the injuries. Like when Rory Keating was in the team, it was a different ball game. Like him and Maguire, they were running the show, and everybody would used to say that no one doesn't want to be playing Cork City at all because of the front two. Then they had Daniels. Obviously, Daniels was your best player. He's now gone to Kilmarnock. You've got Truce. You had Truce in goal. Brilliant goalkeeper, but he's now gone now. You had so many good players in this Cork City team. And since Clancy has gone, and then obviously Gerard Nash has taken over, it's completely different. Like he's not bought players who are experienced. He's bought players that are young and fresh. Of course, yes, you've got to have young players and young talents to come and make an impact in the team. But then you've got to have experienced players to work around Cork City and help them to be the team that they deserve to be. And I think right now, I think they'll go into the first division next season, and they're going to go in there again and finding a way to say, listen, I think they can go on and win it again, like they did the season before. But it hasn't been great. And obviously they've got a chance to, win a trophy in the FAI Cup Final against Shamrock Rovers, who are favourite to go on and win it. But again, it shows that, Cork City haven't been at their best, and it's a real disappointment to see them get relegated. I wanted them to try and stay up, but I think you look at it from a certain point of view, and you have to say that Cork City, that hasn't been at their best at all. And I think Nash has got a lot to do from now to the season finishes and going into next season in the new year.
Yeah, and how do you see Katalov's performance? I think he was doing great at the start. Was he somehow dragged by the team's results, or was something, let's say, personal? Because he is not the person he was at the beginning.
I think, honestly, look, you have to credit Cork City's performance and the way that Cork City did try to give their all and their 100%, but I think they found out that Shells were too strong for them, and Shells had a lot for them to really that they couldn't handle. But I think Cork City will go into the remaining of the games trying to gain some confidence, build momentum going into the FAI Cup Final. And then, of course, I think saying, look, they are relegated and done, but they can try and see if they can put on a good performance. I think the loss of Rory Keating has really played a part in their team. And I think you look at the whole squad and you look at the whole team as Cork City, as you would suggest. And I think major improvements are needed to be done, at the end of the season, going into the new season for them in the first division. It's not where they want to be. Look, I'm sure you as a Cork City fan wouldn't want to be seeing Cork City, going down into the first division. You would expect them to stay in the Premier Division, but it hasn't been great. It hasn't been good enough from Cork City, and Nash knows that. Nash knows that Cork City haven't been great. He knows that he has to do better. He knows he has to bring in the right players to work around the likes of Rory Keating and Sean Maguire, because obviously they need help. They need more depth in the Cork City team. They need it because Cork City are a good side. When they are a good side, we see the very best of them. When they're not a very good side, that's where the downside comes onto it. And the Cork City fans expect more. They expect more from Cork City, and they expected more this season, not to be relegated and not to be going down. But it is what it is with that. But look, listen, I think Cork City can pat themselves on the back. Yeah, they lost. They got beat to Shelbourne, but they can also be proud of, of what they've achieved over the years. But look, listen, it's not what it seems, but it's a disappointment to see them go down.
Right. Before we move to next chapter, just want to invite everyone that is watching us to click that QR there, follow the steps, and subscribe to the channel, and will be part of the first 1,000. So some teams are going down, some teams are going up, and there's one historical club returning to Premier Division, and that is Dundalk. There were some questions about it given Cove Ramblers' performance, but now it's undisputable. Dundalk is back where they belong.
Yeah, very pleased for Cork City. For Dundalk, sorry. Dundalk, honestly, to win, to be unstoppable and to be unbeaten, I think they've really shown how fantastic they can be as a team. They went unbeaten throughout the whole of the first division. Honestly, their winning streak came to an end. They've shown how fantastic they can be. Kieran has got the best out of them as a manager. He's helped them to be in the position that they deserve to be, and look at that, they're champions, and they're coming back into the Premier Division. They're going to come back as underdogs. They're going to come back as a team that obviously Dundalk we haven't seen for a while since they were relegated to the first division, and I think they're going to be favourites to stay up next season, and I think Kieran will find ways to bring in the right players at the right time, and I think he'll help Dundalk be the team that they deserve to be next season in the Premier Division.
Right, still in the first division. We usually don't talk in detail, we just give an overview, but there is one massive game which will dictate who will be in the playoff stages together with Bray, UCD, and Cove Ramblers, and that's Wexford Treaty. This game is the game of the year for both teams. Any prediction on this? I know it's very hard, but what would you say?
It's quite difficult to call with this because both teams are both good. You've got Wexford, who's also good. You've got Treaty United, who's pretty decent as well. So I think for me, I think Treaty will want to go in this, and with the playoffs obviously in their sights, and they want to be in it as well. But I think Wexford will be more favourite to win this game more than Treaty United. So I think Wexford definitely for definite.
Yeah, I would have the same understanding. I think the home factor will be key, and they will manage to get on the playoff stages. And then we will talk about it because that's always a lot of excitement when it comes to the playoff matches. We have a few good games in the Premier Division tomorrow. They all happen at the same time, given we are coming to the end of the season. So let's go one by one. And the first one means a lot for Drogheda, but not as much for Cork. How can that play in the game itself?
I think this game is a big, massive game for Drogheda. Obviously, they want to be in the race for Europe, which they want to. They want to make sure that they are also in the hunt for Europe as well, just like St. Pat's and Shells are as well too. And then of course you've got Bohemians as well that also want to be in Europe as well. But this is a massive game for Drogheda. Cork City already know their fate already, so it doesn't really surround them, really, to be fair. But Drogheda, I think, will go in there as favourites and say, look, I think they will feel that they want to really make a huge statement because, they were very undone by, being expelled, being kicked out of Europe was really a big kick in the teeth for them. And it hasn't really helped them as a club, really. And I think they'll be really destined for them to go into this game and really send a serious statement and say that they're ready to come back strong and to find a way to finish as high as they can in the European places. So I think for me, I think Drogheda will definitely win this game against Cork City.
Yeah, I would think the same. Probably not for a huge margin, but as we know, 3 points are 3 points. Another massive game taking place in Munster. Waterford are hosting Derry. So that's a massive game for both teams for two different reasons. Derry, I think they want to secure the second place, and Waterford is trying everything they can to avoid the relegation playoff.
Yeah, Waterford are also fighting to stay up as well too. Derry obviously are on 54 points, in second. Obviously, Derry will want to put the pressure on Shamrock Rovers at the top. So obviously, I think they'll be they're also fighting for a race for Europe as well. As long as that the results go their way. But look, I think Derry City will be very, very confident going into this game. Michael Duffy has been on sensational form this season, absolutely been unstoppable for Derry City. He's been, really on form this season, and this is the reason. I mean, he is in the fantastic form that he is, and 10 goals this season is just one thing. Look, listen, Michael Duffy will always be is going to be key to Derry's success. The signings they've made from Akemi to Fleming as well. But look, I think Waterford, will realise that I think it's an opportunity for them to stay up this season and move well away from the relegation playoff places. But look, I can definitely see Derry City winning this one because, Derry City will want to be in and around the race for Europe. They want to be putting pressure on Shamrock Rovers. They want to be making a statement and say that, the title race is not done yet, but they'll still find a way to make sure that they can get the win and get the 3 points out of the way.
Right. Now we have Shell, Sligo, so two teams that are in excellent form. They're going to look at each other in the eye, and it's very difficult to understand what will be the outcome of this game.
Yeah, it's another game, another massive game between two good teams. Shelbourne's been on fire, Sligo's been on fire. This is an opportunity for both teams to get 3 points. But look, I think Shelbourne will be very, very favourite to win this game. They know what's at stake now, especially with the race for Europe, on the line. And they would want to go into this game with full belief, which they will. But look, I think Shelbourne will be favourite for this game. So I think definitely Shelbourne win on this one against Sligo.
Right. We have two more in the pocket. And the next is a Dublin derby that means a lot for both teams. I think for Shamrock is enough to draw, but I would say they will play for a victory because they are not a kind of squad who will be happy to draw, especially against a rival.
Yeah, I think Shamrock Rovers will go into this game with full belief. Yes, obviously they lost to Shells, which was not really the result that they wanted because they wanted to go into that game and win it. And win and get 3 points and secure the title, but it's an opportunity for them to go in and get the title. Obviously, yes, they didn't have certain key players like Houlihan and Lopez and Lee Grace, which was a very big blow for them. But one thing I think Shamrock will go into this game, they will be very determined and to put it right and bounce back and say, look, secure the title and then focus on a European run. As for St. Pat's, they have been in very, very poor form, and obviously, if their poor form carries on, they will know that their hopes of finishing in the European places are going to be on the line. You can't tell me that you're losing you're in poor form after being knocked out of the FAI Cup, and now you're up against it. You're up against it against Shamrock Rovers, who are obviously going to win the title, which their 22nd title, their their 5th consecutive League of Ireland title. So this is an opportunity for Rovers to go into this game as favourites to win this game. But look, the reliance on Mason Menia for St. Pat's, I think is very reliable. Yes, they're going to rely on him to score goals, but they've got injury problems as well. But if the bad form really continues, then I think the questions will be asked about Stephen Kenny as a manager. I mean, a manager that has dominated with Dundalk, winning 12 League of Ireland titles. But look, this is a game that Shells cannot Shamrock Rovers cannot lose. Sorry, at all. This is an opportunity for them to go and win the title. The title is there in their grasp, so they can't go into this game and bottle it and let St. Pat's go on and beat them. Then they have to go into the next game against Derry, believing that they can go on and win that game. So this is a Shamrock win, Rovers win, and I think the title will be theirs come tomorrow.
Right, last one we have again is a crucial game for both squads. None of them can afford to lose. I'd say a draw won't be bad for both, but still, it will put both squads in a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think a draw will be all right. Will be all right for both teams, but Bows I think will go into this game with a lot of confidence. I think they'll go into this game believing that they can go on and get 3 points against a poor Galway United team who haven't been at their best this season. Galway United, who are really struggling without Moses Dyer, who's left with 10 goals this season. It's I mean, it's an opportunity for them to get a win and pull away from the relegation places and finish mid-table and finish in a very decent position. But I think it's going to be a very, 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 very close game against both teams. Both teams, look, listen, they've been in amazing form this season. Galway United haven't been great, and Galway United know that. They haven't. I mean, they all thought that Shaw was going to be the right replacement for Moses Dyer, but it hasn't really worked. So I think for me, I can definitely see the other team winning against Galway United. And look, listen, I think we all want Galway United to do well and stay up and really improve their team and really work around Galway United and try and replace Moses Dyer. But you know, when you look at this game now, from how it is, to be fair, I think it's very difficult to call now, because you know, like, Galway United will understand that they're they're at state they're in problems right now, especially with the position that they're in. But I think the other team is going to win against Galway United.
Right, so we covered it all. So thanks very much for your insights, Cornell. You're always spot on your remarks. So thanks for that.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. You were badly missed last week, but we know that your passion for the League of Ireland will never end.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody.
So for folks out there, make sure to share with someone who missed this show. There are a lot of people interested in the League of Ireland, and there is not a lot of shows, but there are a good few. But still, I hope you can get value from what we provide you with here. If you enjoy, let us know by pressing that like button below, and make sure to subscribe. I want you to be part of the historical first 1,000. The prices are being filled. At the start, we were 970, we are now 972. So make sure to press the subscribe button and be part of this growing community. We'll be back on Thursday. Cornell, maybe we need to think of the time, because I can see now Shelbourne will play at 5:45, but we will discuss this, the two of us.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind that. That's fine.
Yeah, we're fine. We walk around. Okay, guys, enjoy the games tomorrow. Have a great weekend, and see you next week. Take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.